Welcome to Conversations with Friends. This program is a regular program on the Brahma Kumari's Miami Meditation YouTube, and we're glad that you're here. And I'm Meredith Port, the host of the series, and I want to talk tonight with somebody who is very, very special and very committed to what she's doing. And she actually pursued her passion quite a few years ago, and it's thriving today and probably more urgent or necessary than ever before. So meet Luz Pellegrino, and she is the founding director of the Ayurvedic Center in Hollywood, the Ayurvedic Center. Yes, I said the Ayurvedic Spa and Wellbeing Center, located in Hollywood, Florida. And I'm thrilled to be here to get to talk with you. Welcome, Luz. How are you doing?
Thank you so much, Meredith, and thank you for the opportunity to be here today with all of you.
And I have to tell you that I was driving by your center for many years. I know you were located somewhere else right near my house, actually. Always wondered about it. What goes on there? What is she? I didn't even know, you. I was, what are they doing there? And then it was some months ago that someone brought me to your center for a workshop or a program. And you had moved to a different part of Hollywood. And I just love what you're doing because it's very aligned. It's most aligned with, the work of the Brahma Kumaris. Different, but both, so necessary today. And I didn't mention that you were actually you're a healer. You have your degree with Deepak Chopra Center for Healing, and you have been at this for quite a few years. But I want to start with how you began, because you decided, you pursued your passion, and you've made it happen, and you've made it thrive.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I began in this journey many, many years ago. It will be almost 30 years that for the very first time I came across with the books from Deepak Chopra, particularly the Quantum Healing and the Perfect Health book. And when I read those books, I got so fascinated because I learned about the capabilities of our body to self-heal. And from there, I said, this is what I want to learn. This is what I want to get good at it. And I started my journey in a very naive and simple way, taking one workshop here and there. But it was very, very authentic in a way that every time I learned something about that, life will put me like the practice right there. Like, for example, I was reading of stress, anxiety, and all of a sudden a friend of mine will come up saying, I have all these problems. I cannot cope with this stress. And I was like, okay, I'm reading these. Maybe this can help, So it was like my intention putting at work, and life was just bringing me the material to work on. And when I came across with a very difficult personal situation, my best friend was diagnosed with cancer back then. Uh, I had been taking several workshops already, and I just wanted to help my friend. I didn't know how to. And I said, Yvette, let's just sit down and meditate every day. I will just share with you what I have learned so far. I know that there is a capacity of your body to self-heal, and that can help you. Of course, she went through chemotherapy and went through a long 6-month process, but every afternoon from Monday to Thursday, we will sit down to meditate, to read about the books, to read about all the intelligence that runs in our body, to read about energy and do visualization in our meditations. And she was having a chemotherapy on Fridays, then Saturday, Sunday, she will rest. And then Monday, we were back working on meditating and working on diet as well. So it was like applying everything that I was learning on the go with her. 6 months later, she got into remission, She never lost her hair. She was vibrant. She was full of energy. She just welcomed the chemotherapy to work for her. Sometimes when we are dealing with those difficult situations and we hear cancer, well, we go into a panic, very stressful situation in our lives. And I believe that doesn't help our body to really respond to treatments. So that's when I decided to get trained formally. First of all, with Dr. Deepak Chopra in California. We went to India. He for back then, it was the first time he organized a workshop in India, and I was lucky enough to participate of that workshop. And then I went back and forth to California, getting my certifications, first as an Ayurvedic teacher, then as a meditation teacher. And that's where I learned about Ayurveda. Ayurveda, it's from India. It's a system that someone can just describe Ayurveda as a medicine system based on natural resources, but it's much more than that. It's a way of life.
A way of living. And that's kind of, I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, but
No, go ahead.
a way of life is quite different, isn't it, from traditional medicine? And like, I'm glad to hear that she continued what, her doctor said that she needed to do. But a way of life is not just taking medicine or taking chemotherapy and saying, well, why isn't it working, or why am I not getting better? Would you say that it's dealing on a much deeper level when you get into it?
And we need to understand our holistic existence. We are multidimensional beings. It's not just flesh and body and bones. We're not just a body. We are energy. We are emotions. We are thoughts. We live interacting with our environment every single day. We come in touch with the water. We go out and we perceive the sun. All this interaction has an influence in our being, in our core. And that's what Ayurveda teaches us. That's why I fell in love with this system, because there's no moment in your daily life that doesn't have some Ayurvedic meaning, in the sense of drinking a glass of water, understanding that the water will nourish and hydrate your tissues. And when you live in the present moment, you create more awareness. And then you can live a more healthy and fulfilled life. That's what all the lines of and schools of meditation teach you: awareness, conscious based system of healing, true healing. Sometimes in our modern life, we face difficult situations. We are so much worry about paying our bills, about achieving success in our jobs, about paying our mortgage, or changing our car, or planning this budget for our vacation. And all of the things are so mechanic at some point, and it stresses us out that sometimes we cannot sleep properly. We're not eating correctly. We are not nourishing our tissues, our health, our body. We are not taking the time to nourish our relationships. And
But this is the reality, of life today. Unfortunately, this is what people deal with, right? Like you say, paying their mortgage, dealing with their families, just making it in life, getting through a day, if it's a difficult job that they have. And I know that you're not saying to reject it and say, I'm going to go live in a cave or something.
No, we can't.
Like I guess the original Ayurvedic healers, that's what they did. I'm going to just leave the world. There has to kind of be that balance, right? But that knowingness that it's not enough to just deal with the movement. People are just, they don't stop. And I think we're all like that at some level, right? We're just doing, what did Wayne Dyer used to say? We're human doings. We're human beings.
Correct.
just human doings. So why have people forgotten that? I mean, there must have been a way of life at some point, in the
Yes,
world.
so I think modern life is so different to 5 years ago, 5,000 years ago, sorry, where all these rishis and wise people from India started developing this model of how to live your life, how to nourish your spirit, how to meditate, all the yoga tradition. Everything has started back then. But what I believe is that back then they could not even grasp what our reality is today. Today, we depend on technology, on electricity. God forbid we lose power one day because we won't have Wi-Fi and we won't be able to be connected, like now our lives have changed. However, the principles of Ayurveda are exactly the same. And when we remember, we go back to that natural state of well-being, because as human beings, and what I truly believe and what this system teaches you, we have the right to live happy in a more fulfilled life. And even when we're exposed with all this stress and modernity and technology, we need to remember that we are human beings undergoing a life that has been put for our own growth, our learning, our growing, our developing, and our evolution as a human race. As part of all this journey, Ayurveda is not just diet. Sometimes people think,
Mhm.
oh, it's a diet,
Right.
or the herbs,
Or
or
yoga, just doing hatha yoga.
yoga,
Right.
or a specific treatment. No, Ayurveda
Yeah.
provides like a wide range of options. And you pick and choose what works for you, because we cannot just say that one size fits all, right? So that's why as part of my journey, I have been like learning other modalities of meditation, of healing. I do practice sound healing because it's very close to my heart, and it's something so naive, simple, that people benefit from that immediately. In just one session, they can feel more relaxed, more centered. I also explore the past life regression therapy. I
Mhm.
certified with Dr. Brian Weiss because at some point I believe that the path to wellness, to healing, can be different for every person. And sometimes people have come to my office looking for an Ayurvedic consultation and assessment. And
Mhm.
I believe that I need to explore something beyond what's happening in this current life. And if the person is open, I can offer a regression to see if there is something more that probably we have experienced before, even when we are not aware. So I apply as many tools that I have learned along the way that are totally aligned with the whole concept of Ayurveda. Ayurveda is the literal meaning is science of life, or
Beautiful,
knowledge of life.
beautiful. So it's very impressive, your life, your passion for this, your desire to really help heal people. And I'm wondering, are more people becoming aware of this and maybe even coming to these kinds of things before they get sick? Or do you find, even just with your center, that people often come when they're, as a last resort? That's what I see happens. And I don't know if that's changed, where you've tried the traditional medicine, it doesn't work. You've tried all the the different things and physical therapy and everything, and that's all good. We're not saying anything bad about that, but you find often that people just somehow there's a knowingness that there's something else, another way of life, which is what you're teaching in the Brahma Kumaris too, in their very, very committed way too. The Brahma Kumaris are all about spirituality,
Mhm.
deep meditation, getting in touch with who you are, you know, as a spirit, as spiritual energy, and not just the physical. So I'm just wondering, do people now come before, you know, the crises, before, you know, things happen, or are they now, or they often still come when they're desperate?
Well, I think that I wouldn't want to say that people get desperate. Sometimes that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't see Ayurveda as opposed to Western medicine.
Yeah.
I see that as a great complement that can improve actually all treatments received from Western medicine. Of course, we fall in the situation where the Western approach to health is just absence of disease at whatever cost.
Mm-hmm.
And they will give you lots of medications for different chronic disorders that you have accumulated during your lifespan. And sometimes you find yourself struggling with your well-being. You cannot sleep well, your digestion is very poor, you're taking these medications, and sometimes you face side effects. And in my personal and humble opinion, sometimes I think that Western approach to health has abused the body with so many chemicals. And I believe that's where Ayurveda comes into place. For chronic conditions that have developed over time, and it has taken years to develop them and manifest them, I
Mm-hmm.
believe that Ayurveda is very powerful because if you go back to the source, to the root cause of whatever imbalance you created in your body, then you can actually help your body to reverse that state. If you have acute conditions, if you have an infection, if you have a broken bone, if you have something that must be addressed, I will never tell you, let's go through the natural way and try to take some turmeric in your diet. No, if you have a broken bone, you go to the hospital and you get it
Right.
addressed. So we need to take advantage of all the science progress that we have achieved in this time. There's a lot of people that are not dying from common conditions that before years ago, 100 years ago, they were very lethal. So we need to make that clarification. But when someone falls into a chronic condition, and it's only being addressed by a medication or a set of medications, and they don't feel good still, then that's a great opportunity to welcome what Ayurveda brings into the equation, because at the end, you just don't want to control a disease. You want to feel good so you can enjoy your life, you can enjoy your family. And Ayurveda offers a well of sources and resources for that
And
that
it's a
can
sign. It
complement.
really is a sign, you know? I mean, when, like you say, you're taking medicine all the time, but you're not feeling better, you're, you know, just things aren't working out in your life, then that's when you have to say, okay, maybe there's something else, whatever that is. And do you find that often it'll just come to you? It'll come into your life. They will meet someone like you. They will read, you said you read a book, that it, even that will come naturally. Maybe someone will mention something to them, you know, go for acupuncture, go for an Ayurvedic treatment or whatever. And then they start to change. Even people that aren't really, some people, you know, they don't really get this until a crisis or until they aren't feeling right.
Correct. And even simple things. For example, I had a case a couple of years ago of a woman, 65-year-old, colon cancer, going into chemotherapy. Her body was very, very depleted, and she was very, very petite. So with the permission of her doctor, she booked a massage, just a
Mhm.
massage. And during the massage, she just had this emotional release, because when you are facing a health challenge and you just go with the medication and the treatments, and they are very invasive to your own body, she realized she forgot about nourishing her body. And just a simple massage, a loving touch, just release a lot of emotions.
Beautiful.
So
Beautiful.
we need to observe ourselves and recognize that we are not just flesh and bones. It's a beautiful machine that we own, and we deal with emotions. That's why meditation, it has to be a pillar of health. It has to be part of your daily life. Um, we have thoughts, and sometimes our thoughts are nonstop, especially when you wake up at 2 in the morning and you are trying to go back to sleep and the thoughts don't stop, right? We need to
Yeah.
address that. We need to meditate. We need to have these practices to relax also our thoughts. So we are thoughts, we are energy, and that's what sound healing works really nicely. It settles the energy in the body. When every week that I host the sound healing meditation, I start with a guided meditation to put everybody on the same tone. And then I explain at the end, like the energy of the sound really shook all your cells and they started detoxifying, even when you are not aware of it. That's a physical effect in the body. And so now it's time to nourish your body, to hydrate your body. So when we live in with consciousness, Meredith, that's when we are able to make a change in our life. And that is a commitment that I believe as human beings we have every day. It's not something that you take for a few days. Um, I always make fun of the 3-day flush and 4-day cleanse and things like that. And I always say, do you do like a 3-day toothbrushing? No. You do daily toothbrushing. You brush your teeth
That's
every
great.
day because it's part of the hygiene. The same happens with all your cleansing capability of your body, right? So Ayurveda is a lifestyle, and that's what I practice, what I preach, and every activity that I do go through during my day has a component of it. Always reminding everything that I've learned and how I can recommend or how can I give to someone to help them in
It's a
what
way of life for you. I can see
it
that.
is.
It's
It is.
obvious, it's obvious that you are really, you've long been committed to this. You continue to study and to touch others. And I'm sure people just see you and hear you and they're impacted by that, because of not just your passion, but your knowledge and it's really it's a way of life for you. So
Yes.
I want to ask you, what has been a challenge for you, either physically or mentally or whatever that you say, Ayurvedic really helped me? Did anything occur in your life, or that you said this is it?
Thank goodness I've been enjoying of good health all my life. So
Beautiful.
thankfully,
Thank God.
I haven't had any personal challenge in terms of health. Of course, I've had stress in my life, right? Let me share with you as well. We are between friends. So I started studying this almost 30 years ago. But at the very beginning, I went to college and I got a bachelor's degree in computer sciences. And I worked in the IT industry. And for many years, that was, well, my means of living. And I was under a lot of stress, and I could see people around me with a lot of stress. Is very competitive, is very like you are there to achieve. So you have to be better than the others. And that creates a lot of stress. The money and compensations and incentives, you're always like in the rat race. So I was part of that. And it came a point that where I said, I cannot be like studying these and promoting health and believing in all these when my life is super stressful. So I had to make a stop in my life and make a decision and saying, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to really expand my wings and trust the universe into
Mm, mm,
just practicing what I truly love. And thankfully, I have the support of my family and my husband. So I came to a moment in my life where I can dedicate fully to what I do now, right? But the reason I'm sharing this with you is because sometimes our fear of doing what we truly love blocks our lives. Our fear to we are in situation in relationships, in situations, in jobs that are not fulfilling to us.
mm.
We are fearful of taking a different approach. And the beauty of all this is when you practice on yourself, you follow your daily routine, you meditate every day, you focus on your intentions of loving and helping others. Like the universe will push you, like it's like a supporting energy that you cannot say how it happens, but it happens. It truly happens. Sometimes you come across with the right people and your clients start coming at you and everything starts flowing. So I can tell you, I had to truly believe what I was studying and applying to myself before I was able to actually help others. And from my experience, that has been the most rewarding part because today I even got into another venture in my life. I acquired a school of Ayurveda. So
Mm.
it's not only me, that's a way for me to multiply my skills, not only me dealing with my clients and my small well-being center, but also teaching others how to do the same. And I thrive when they tell me, I gave this consultation and I was able to help this person. So it's like music to my ears because it's a to spread, it's like we are spreading this goodness. And the truth, Meredith, this world needs healing.
More than
Period.
ever. I mean,
More
every
than
day it's obvious, isn't it? That and you can't expect anyone else to do it but yourself, right? You have to
correct.
be the one that looks inside and says, I need to change. And I always believe, and I found that with all my studies with the Brahma Kumaris, when the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? So if you begin to think like this, and realize there's something more than the physical, or the success in life, or like you say, achievement, or all of that, or the marriage, all of that. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about those things, but if you don't, if you don't do the inner work, uh, that inner work is going to just keep knocking on your door, isn't it? And saying, help, you need help. We could talk all day, I can see.
Yes.
And I love what you're doing. I did go to the healing. That's how I met you. A friend
Mhm.
of mine said, a friend of mine who comes to meditation with me, a class, and she said, oh, you have to meet Luz. You have to meet Luz. And there we were in the dark.
Yes.
We were doing a whole array of healing bowls. And I, kept listening and listening. And by the end, when I left, I felt much better. I felt really good. And I think just being open, to whatever is spiritual or healing, to be open to that and to know what you're saying. To me, what you're saying is now is the time. If something's not working in your life, or even if it is working, there might be stress, there might be something going on. It's just be open to a different way of living. And that's, to me, the key to changing the world, isn't it? With
Correct.
ourselves. So I want to thank you. It's just a pleasure. And I just want to say again, Luz is the founding director of the Ayurvedic Spa and Wellbeing Center in Hollywood. And I can just feel by being around you and listening to you that this is your passion. You have pursued your passion, And I think we all need to not just pursue our passion, but to be aware of helping others. And that's what I'm feeling from you, is you are one that you want to help others, whoever they are, wherever they are, right? Whatever level they're at.
Correct.
So I'm sure you'll have continued success with whatever you do. So I thank you, Luz.
So much, Meredith, for this kind invitation. And well, I look forward to seeing you around back in my meditation or wherever life takes us together.
I'm sure that our paths will cross again soon. Thank you so much.
From a land of ancient wisdom comes a voice for a modern generation, a voice of calm in a world of chaos, a voice of clarity in a world of confusion, a voice of kindness in a world of cruelty.
Are we ready? Are we ready to create a peaceful world?
B.K. Shivani has already spoken to the hearts and captured the imagination of millions of people in her native India and across the world.
Every moment, if we keep checking our mind, who will do all the work that we're supposed to do?
Now she is bringing her unique blend of light-hearted humor and profound spiritual understanding to the US, the Caribbean, and Panama.
You don't start walking a marathon the first day. It will start with
B.K. Shivani has a message of hope that new possibilities for a brighter future are not just a distant dream, but are fast becoming our reality.
how should I healed myself when someone says something to me which is not right? Because no one else knows me better than me. So we actually need only one person to be nice to us. Myself. Your vibrations can heal people. When we change, the world changes.
You can see B.K. Shivani on September 7th in Oklahoma City, September 8th in Dallas, September 10th in Charlotte, September 11th in Raleigh, September 12th in Pittsburgh, September 13th through 16th in Atlanta, September 18th in Guyana, September 19th in Trinidad, September 21st in Miami, and September 22nd in Panama. Tickets are free for all these events, but registration is required. To reserve your seats, just visit the website, or you can scan the QR code on the screen.